Number 7. The Vought-Sikorsky VS-300. The Vought-Sikorsky VS-300 was a groundbreaking helicopter that was designed by Igor Sikorsky and was first flown in 1939. It was the first successful helicopter in the US and the first in the world to use the single vertical plain tail rotor design that's still widely used today. The VS-300 demonstrated the power of rotary wing flight and paved the way for the development of the helicopter industry. The VS-300 was powered by a single engine that drove a 3-blade main rotor and a single-blade tail rotor. The main rotor provided both lift and thrust, while the tail rotor counteracted the torque and provided directional control. The VS-300 had a cyclic pitch control that allowed the pilot to change the angle of attack of each blade individually, thus creating different amounts of lift at different points of the rotor's rotation. This enabled the helicopter to move forward, backward, sideways, or hover in place. The VS-300 also had a collective pitch control that allowed the pilot to change the angle of attack of all blades simultaneously, thus increasing or decreasing the overall lift of the rotor. The VS-300 wasn't very fast or powerful by today's standards, but it was impressive for its time. It had a maximum speed of about 50 miles per hour and a maximum altitude of about 500 feet. It could carry one pilot and one passenger, or about 250 pounds of cargo. It had a range of approximately 50 miles and an endurance of about 90 minutes. The VS-300 was also extremely versatile and adaptable. It could be fitted with floats for water operations, skis for snow operations, or wheels for land operations. The VS-300 was a remarkable achievement that proved the feasibility and utility of helicopters. It was used for various purposes such as testing new technologies, training pilots, transporting personnel and equipment, and performing rescue missions. It also inspired several other helicopter designs, like the Sikorsky R-4, which was the first mass-produced helicopter and the first to enter military service. The VS-300 was retired in 1943 and was subsequently donated to the Henry Ford Museum, where it's still on display today. The Vought-Sikorsky VS-300 was a powerful helicopter that revolutionized aviation history. It was the first practical helicopter in the US and the first to use the single vertical plain tail rotor design. It showed the world the potential of rotary wing flight and opened up new possibilities for exploration and transportation. Number 6. The MIL Mi-26. The MIL Mi-26 is a twin-engine heavy transport helicopter that was designed and manufactured by the MIL Moscow helicopter plant in Russia. It's the world's largest and most powerful helicopter, capable of carrying up to 44,000 pounds of cargo or 80 troops. It has a single 8-blade main rotor and a 5-blade tail rotor and can fly at a maximum speed of 184 miles per hour. And in addition, it has a maximum altitude of 15,100 feet. It entered service in 1985 and has been used by both military and civilian operators for various missions, such as transporting vehicles, equipment, personnel, and even other helicopters. The Mi-26 was developed to replace the earlier Mi-6 and Mi-12 heavy-lift helicopters, which weren't powerful enough to meet the demands of the Soviet military and civil aviation. The Mi-26 was designed to have an empty weight less than half its maximum takeoff weight, which was achieved by using a non-planetary split-torque design that could absorb 14,700 kilowatts of power from the two Lotarev D-136 turboshaft engines. The Mi-26 also had a sophisticated flight control system that allowed the pilot to change the angle of attack of each blade individually or simultaneously, thus enabling the helicopter to move in any direction or hover in place. The Mi-26 has proven its power and versatility in many situations. In 1986, it was used to transport a reactor lid weighing 15 tons from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant after the disaster. And in 1989, it set a world record by lifting a payload of 125,153.8 pounds to an altitude of 6,562 feet. The Mi-26 was also used in 1995 during the recovery of two Tu-134 airliners that became stuck in the Siberian tundra after encountering bad weather. Then in 2010, it was used to deliver humanitarian aid to Haiti after the earthquake. The Mi-26 is the world's largest and most powerful helicopter and has been used for various roles since entering service, such as heavy lift transport, firefighting, search and rescue, and disaster relief. Number 5. The CAIC Z-10. The CAIC Z-10 is a Chinese medium attack helicopter that was developed for the People's Liberation Army Ground Force. It's designed to perform anti-tank warfare missions, but it can also engage in air-to-air combat and take on other roles. The Z-10 is the first indigenous Chinese attack helicopter of note, and it was developed with the help of the Russian Kamov Design Bureau. The Z-10 has a two-man stepped cockpit arrangement, with the weapons officer in the front and the pilot in the rear. It has a 5-bladed main rotor and 2-bladed tail rotor, powered by 2 turboshaft engines. The helicopter has a stealthy design with a slim fuselage and low radar cross-section. The Z-10 is equipped with a nose-mounted electro-operating targeting system, a helmet-mounted sight, and a chin-mounted 23mm cannon. It can carry various weapons on its 4 hardpoints, such as machine guns, rockets, anti-tank missiles, and air-to-air missiles. The Z-10 made its first flight in 2003 and officially entered service in 2012. It's currently operated by the PLAGF and the Pakistan Army Aviation Corps. The Z-10 has participated in several exercises and drills demonstrating its capabilities and performance. The Z-10 is considered to be one of the most powerful helicopters in the world, and it's comparable to other modern types such as the AH-64 Apache, the Mi-28 Havoc, and the Eurocopter Tiger. Number 4. The Boeing AH-64 Apache. The Boeing AH-64 Apache is a twin-turboshaft attack helicopter that can perform various missions, such as anti-armor, close air support, and reconnaissance. It has a tandem cockpit for a crew of 2, a pilot and a gunner, and a tailwheel-type landing gear arrangement. It's equipped with a nose-mounted sensor suite that provides target acquisition and night vision capabilities, as well as a 30mm M230 chain gun and 4 hardpoints for carrying missiles and rockets. The Apache also has a high degree of survivability thanks to its redundant systems and armor protection. In the 1970s, the Apache was developed by Hughes Helicopters for the U.S. Army's Advanced Attack Helicopter Program to replace the AH-1 Cobra. The prototype, called the YAH-64, first flew in 1975, and the U.S. Army selected it over the Bell YAH-63 in 1976. The first production model, the AH-64A, was introduced in 1986. And since then, the Apache has undergone several upgrades and variants, such as the AH-64D Apache Longbow, which features a radar dome above the rotor blades, and the AH-64E Apache Guardian, which has improved performance and avionics. The Apache is the primary attack helicopter of the U.S. Army and has served in various conflicts in places like Panama, the Persian Gulf, Kosovo, Afghanistan, and Iraq. It's also operated by 19 other countries around the world, including Israel, Japan, the Netherlands, and the United Arab Emirates. Some countries have built the Apache under license. The United Kingdom is one, for example, which produces the AgustaWestland Apache. And as of 2020, Boeing has produced over 2,400 Apaches, with more orders being expected in the future. The Boeing AH-64 Apache is a combat-proven and battle-tested helicopter that represents the backbone of many attack helicopter fleets. It's designed to be network-centric, interoperable, and adaptable to various scenarios and environments. It's expected to serve as a key weapon system in the multi-domain operations battlefield for decades to come. Which country do you think possesses the most advanced helicopters? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, subscribe. Number 3. The Eurocopter EC725. The Eurocopter EC725 was a creation born from the innovation of Eurocopter, which is now embraced by Airbus helicopters as an evolution of the Super Puma Cougar family. This twin-engine marvel embodies the essence of medium-sized excellence, a chameleon of the skies seamlessly adapting to a variety of roles, including combat search and rescue, troop transport, special operations, medical evacuation, and maritime patrol. Its versatile design allows it to accommodate up to 29 passengers and 2 crew members, with its flexibility depending on customer configuration. With a graceful 5-blade composite main rotor, it takes flight with elegance, ushering in reduced vibrations and noise, while an armored main gearbox empowers it to fly 30 minutes even after losing oil. Peering through its glass cockpit adorned with 4 multifunction displays, the journey is guided by a digital autopilot, enhancing awareness and granting unparalleled flight control. The EC725 first took off into the skies in November of 2000 at Marignane, France. It then made its first public appearance on January 15, 2001, and it completed its first mission with the French Air Force in February of 2005. A coveted choice for combat search and rescue, the French Special Operations Command ordered another 8 EC725s for the French Armed Forces in 2002. The EC725 graced the skies of Lebanon, Afghanistan, Mali, and Libya, unveiling its adaptability amidst challenging realms. With a range of approximately 533 miles and a top speed of 201 miles per hour, it's capable of immense power. And with a versatile wardrobe of armaments, machine guns, rockets, missiles, or cannons, it tailor-makes its performance, adhering to the needs of its mission. The EC725 dons the alias of H-225M in the civil arena, adorning the rules of offshore oil and gas transport, search and rescue, firefighting, and VIP transit. Its design is reminiscent of its military counterpart, the EC-225, embellished with tailored touches, a grander cabin space, loftier takeoff weight, and refined avionics. The EC-225 comes with a lower cost of operation, though, and a higher availability rate, making it a star in its own right. At number 2, the AgustaWestland AW101. The AgustaWestland AW101 stands as a versatile helicopter, skillfully taking on a multitude of military and civil roles. Born from a collaboration effort between Westland Helicopters in the UK and AgustaWestland in Italy, it took to the skies for the first time in 1987. Crafted with a robust and modular design, the AW101 seamlessly adapts to various missions, ranging from troop transport, search and rescue, and anti-submarine warfare to VIP transport. Its impressive capabilities encompass carrying up to 30 passengers or a hefty 11,000 pounds of cargo, all while traversing distances exceeding 808 miles. Empowered by the 3 Rolls-Royce Turbomeca RTM 322 engines, each generating 1,693 kilowatts, it boasts a 5-blade main rotor and a 4-blade tail rotor, both crafted from composite materials. Furthermore, its active vibration control system diligently curbs noise and fatigue, ensuring a smoother experience. A modern cockpit embraces digital avionics accompanied by a 4-axis autopilot, helmet-mounted display, and night vision goggles. Safety takes precedence with its comprehensive self-protection suite, incorporating radar and laser warning receivers, missile approach warners, chaff and flare dispensers alongside infrared jammers. Versatility is taken a step further with the option to arm it with torpedoes, depth charges, anti-ship missiles, rockets, and machine guns. The AW101 graces the skies under the flags of numerous countries including the UK, Italy, Denmark, Portugal, Norway, Canada, Japan, Algeria, and Turkmenistan. Its performance portfolio reads like an anthology, spanning engagements such as the Iraq War, the war in Afghanistan, the Libyan Civil War, the Falklands War, and even the unforgiving terrain of the Antarctic. Through these chapters, the AW101 has manifested as an embodiment of reliability and capability, tending to the diverse requirements of its users. And at number 1, the Boeing CH-47. The Boeing CH-47, a tandem-rotor helicopter developed by Boeing Vertol, is a heavyweight champion in aerial transport. With a robust capability, it carries a remarkable 28,000 pounds of cargo, or 55 troops. With a zippy maximum speed of 170 knots or 196 miles an hour, and an impressive range of 400 miles, its debut in 1962 marked the beginning of its service to the U.S. Army and diverse military and civilian operators. Its roles span troop transport, medical evacuation, search and rescue, and firefighting. The CH-47's power stems from two turboshaft engines that drive rotors on both ends of its fuselage, carefully synchronized to ensure harmony and deliver both lift and thrust. Steering is accomplished through cyclic pitch control, granting pilots the ability to tweak blade angles individually for varying lift levels throughout each rotor's rotation, enabling nimble maneuvers like forward, backward, lateral motion, or steady hovering. And collective pitch control enables synchronous blade angle changes for overall lift adjustment. A true chameleon of the skies, the CH-47 excels as one of the swiftest and most versatile helicopters worldwide. Scaling lofty heights, tackling sweltering heat, dusty terrains, or watery domains poses no challenge. It takes command of rough territory, landing and taking off with ease, even on snow. Whether internal or external loads from vehicles to artillery, the CH-47 delivers with confidence. It dons a fierce demeanor too, capable of being armed with machine guns, rockets, and missiles. The CH-47's prowess is undeniable, made evident by its history. In 1975, it orchestrated the evacuation of thousands from Saigon during the Vietnam War. And in 1980, it showcased its valor in the daring rescue of hostages from the Iranian embassy in London. It also played a pivotal role in transporting coalition forces during the Gulf War in 1991. Then, in 2005, it extended a helping hand by delivering humanitarian aid to Pakistan following the devastating earthquake. In 2011, it etched its name in history by raiding Osama bin Laden's compound in Abbottabad. The Boeing CH-47 stands tall as an epitome of power, dependability, and adaptability, leaving a lasting mark on aviation history. Number 10. The RQ-170 Sentinel. The RQ-170 Sentinel is a stealth, unmanned aerial vehicle developed by Lockheed Martin's famously secretive Skunk Works division. Nicknamed the Wraith and the Beast of Kandahar, it was operated by the United States Air Force for the Central Intelligence Agency. The aircraft first entered service in 2007. The Wraith was developed specifically with high altitude and long endurance capabilities in mind. During its early days of service, it was used in Operation Enduring Freedom. More specifically, the U.S. military used the RQ-170 to spy on Iran and to scope out Osama bin Laden's secret compound in Pakistan, where he was hiding out before his capture. Very little is known about the aircraft, and few photos of it have ever been circulated. In 2009, the Air Force formally acknowledged the drone's existence, but revealed almost no details about its appearance or capabilities. In 2011, Iran's state-sponsored news agency released footage of an RQ-170 that was captured by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard. U.S. officials denied claims that the Iranian military hacked the drone and caused it to crash, but confirmed that the vehicle featured in the footage was a genuine Kandahar beast. Iran's ability to detect and capture the RQ-170 was unnerving to American officials, who asked the country to return the vehicle. Defense Minister Ahmad Vahidi responded by criticizing the U.S. for failing to apologize for invading the country's airspace. Former Vice President Dick Cheney slammed then-President Barack Obama for failing to order an airstrike to retrieve or destroy the vehicle once it fell into Iranian hands. Long story short, Iran did not return the RQ-170, and the country has since developed its own stealth drones based on the captured vehicle's design. Number 9. Russian Doomsday Sub. Designed to fight surface groups of warships, K-329 Belgorod is a Russian nuclear-powered submarine that originally functioned as an Oscar II-class vessel when it was first laid down in 1992. But after hitting multiple obstacles, construction ground to a halt, and the sub's future remained uncertain for years to come. The submarine was later redesignated and overhauled as a special operations vessel. In what became known as Project 09852, the sub was relayed in 2012. Its hull was lengthened by nearly 100 feet, bringing its total length to almost 604 feet and making it the world's longest submarine. The Belgorod is the designated mothership for an autonomous nuclear-powered missile-launching mini-submarine known as the Poseidon. Capable of diving to depths of 3,280 feet, the Poseidon vehicle is designed specifically to destroy coastal infrastructure and to circumvent the West's nuclear defense capabilities. According to state-sponsored news agency TASS, the Belgorod is capable of carrying 6 Poseidon vehicles. It's capable of delivering both conventional and nuclear warheads and is believed to have a 6,200-mile range. In October 2022, Naval News published photos from an alleged sighting of the Belgorod operating on the surface of the Barents Sea above the Arctic Circle. The report came on the heels of rumors that the massive submarine was missing and that it had been deployed with potential plans to put its nuclear Doomsday weapons to use. For now, it appears though the vessel is staying close to Russia. Number 8. Wuzhen 8. In 2019, Chinese media published photos of an alleged supersonic spy drone called the Wuzhen 8. The vehicle was spotted during a rehearsal for a military parade in anticipation of China's National Day. It's been claimed that the Wuzhen 8 is capable of flying in excess of Mach 3.3, or more than 3.3 times the speed of sound. The drone is also supposedly capable of reaching locations as far away as Guam, which is a U.S. territory. It was reportedly designed specifically for the possibility of a war with American forces in the Western Pacific or the South China Sea. Speculations suggest that the Wuzhen 8 took its first test flight in 2015. A media report claimed that the vehicle flew for several hours, pointing toward its long-range capabilities. In addition to the pre-parade photo, a satellite image that surfaced around the same time appeared to show the drone parked at a Chinese military base. According to an expert who spoke with the South China Morning Post, the Wuzhen 8 had already been in use for some time when it was spotted during the parade preparations. But the Chinese government has never released photos of the aircraft, and it has remained tight-lipped about the drone's dimensions and capabilities. Number 7. Dongfeng 27. In its 2021 annual China Military Power Report, the U.S. Department of Defense mentioned the development of a new long-range missile called the Dongfeng 27. According to official documents, the D-27 has an estimated range of 3,100 to 5,000 miles and can travel at speeds of up to Mach 8.6, or nearly 9 times the speed of sound. In early 2023, a leaked intelligence briefing revealed that China had tested the missile. According to the top-secret report, the D-27 traveled for 12 minutes, covering a distance of 1,300 miles. The document further revealed that the missile was mounted on a hypersonic glide vehicle. It's believed that at least 2 variants of the D-27 missile are in service and that they're capable of striking both land and naval targets. According to the leaked briefing, the D-27 was designed to enhance China's ability to hold targets at risk beyond the second island chain, which encompasses Japan's Honshu Island as well as Guam, Palau, the Marianas Islands, and New Guinea. The missile was also intended to be able to penetrate U.S. ballistic missile defenses. Given its speed, range, and other capabilities, it's believed that the weapon is also meant to destroy aircraft carriers. Number 6. RQ-170 Stealth Drone. In September 2021, a photo of an alleged top-secret American spy drone went viral on social media. Captured above the Philippines, the image appears to depict an unmanned aerial vehicle known as the Northrop Grumman RQ-180. According to Forbes, the picture appeared to confirm reports that the pilotless stealth bomber had departed from Guam for operations around China. The shape and contrail of the vehicle in the photo were similar to those seen in a photo captured over California about a year earlier. It was the first known photograph of the RQ-180. Military officials kept the development of the RQ-180 under wraps. Its existence was revealed in the 2013 Aviation Weekly report. The Air Force confirmed its existence the following year, but declined to go into detail about the aircraft. Relatively little is known about the vehicle. With an estimated 130-foot wingspan, the RQ-180 is believed to be bigger than the other known U.S. Air Force stealth drone, the RQ-170. Its larger size gives it increased altitude and range capabilities. The RQ-180 has an estimated range of 14,000 miles and a maximum altitude of around 60,000 feet, enabling it to fly through highly defended enemy territory on short notice and with a minimal chance of being detected. Number 5. Never-before-seen military blimp. In May of 2023, satellite images obtained by CNN appeared to show a never-before-seen military blimp at a base in the desert of northwestern China. The photos were captured in November of 2022, roughly 3 months before the news headlines reported the presence of a Chinese military spy balloon in American airspace. They appear to show a 100-foot-long blimp sitting on a runway. Aerospace experts who spoke with CNN estimated the runway's length at 0.6 miles or 1 kilometer. There's also a hangar in the pictures, which is believed to measure around 900 feet long. Oklahoma Aerospace Institute Executive Director Jamie Jacobs told the news agency that the blimp appears to be equipped with dedicated propulsion and navigation capabilities, which means that it's most likely capable of flying over a designated area for extended time periods. Jacobs described the aircraft as a submarine of the skies and the next leap for China. Other experts agreed that the blimp appears to be more maneuverable and versatile than previously known Chinese aircraft of its kind. When questioned about the sighting, a U.S. Defense Department official declined to go into specifics, but reassured that since the blimp is visible, the American government is aware of and tracking it. Other government agencies, including the CIA and National Security Council, did not respond to CNN's request for comments. Number 4. H-20 bomber. China reportedly has several stealth bombers in the works, including a subsonic aircraft called the Xian H-20. Described by the People's Liberation Army as a strategic project, its development was revealed in September 2016. 2 years later, in 2018, a military spokesperson claimed that the project was making great progress. But details about the aircraft remain scarce. The closest anyone has come to seeing the H-20 is in a military recruitment video that surfaced in early 2021. It features a rendering of the stealth bomber, which appears to resemble the shape of the U.S. Air Force's B-2 Spirit, as well as the B-21 Raider, the latter of which is currently in development. The U.S. Department of Defense speculates that the H-20 has a range of nearly 5,300 miles, along with a capacity to carry 10 tons of nuclear or conventional weapons. Experts have suggested that the bomber is being developed specifically for the purpose of being able to engage key U.S. military bases, including Guam and Hawaii. Number 3. Zubr-class hovercraft. The world's largest air-cushioned vehicle, ACV, better known as a hovercraft, is the Soviet-designed Zubr-class amphibious landing craft. Measuring 187 feet long and 84 feet wide, it has a full load displacement of 555 tons. Its cargo area alone measures 4,300 square feet. Developed during the Soviet era, Zubr-class vehicles are capable of operating on water, land, and even ice. These vehicles were designed for the purpose of moving amphibious assault units from ships to shore. Each Zubr-class hovercraft is capable of carrying up to 500 soldiers, 13 tanks, or 40 armored vehicles. It has a range of roughly 350 miles and is powered by 4 gas turbine motors that propel 8 fans, enabling it to safely travel over calm waters at speeds of up to 69 miles per hour. Zubr-class vehicles are equipped with sophisticated tracking systems and weapons, including machine guns and surface-to-air missiles. And while these hovercrafts aren't exactly a secret from the world today, They were an unexpected sight back during their early days of operation. It's also likely that certain details about the vehicles, including their updated armaments, are kept from the public. There are at least 10 Zubr-class hovercrafts currently in service, including 2 in the Russian Navy and 4 that are used by the Hellenic or the Greek Navy. Number 2. Secret Space Plane. On November 12, 2022, the U.S. military's X-37B spaceplane touched down at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, concluding a record 908-day trip to space. It was the vehicle's longest ever spaceflight, exceeding all 5 of its previous flights by at least 4 months. According to Live Science, it's unclear what the aircraft was doing during the nearly 3 years it spent in orbit. According to officials, the vehicle was used for conducting scientific experiments 249 miles above the Earth's surface. Initially designed for NASA, the X-37B subsequently fell into military hands. Throughout all of its missions, it had spent a cumulative 10 years in orbit and has covered roughly 1.3 billion miles. Yet for all that travel, its exact purpose remains shrouded in mystery. The few details released by the government include an experiment to harvest light from the sun and send it back to Earth as microwaves. Officials also mentioned the deployment of an Air Force-designed electromagnetically steered training satellite, as well as an experiment to research the effects of space on certain materials. Civilians aren't the only ones trying to figure out exactly what the X-37B's purpose is. Following its return to Earth, one Russian official speculated that it could be used for spying or for carrying weapons of mass destruction. A Chinese military expert expressed similar concerns. Former Pentagon official Heather Wilson conceded that the aircraft is capable of changing directions and that it admittedly drives American adversaries crazy. But if the X-37B has any non-scientific purposes, the American government is remaining tight-lipped about it. And there appear to be no plans to go into deep detail about the spaceplane's work. And at number 1, the Star Shadow. In recent years, China has rapidly modernized and expanded its military. Some of the most frequently mentioned developments are new drones, many of which are in development or already in service. In October 2022, a 13-second video clip of an alleged secret drone on the Chinese social media network Weibo. It's unclear exactly when or where the footage was captured, and the video isn't extremely clear, making it difficult to discern its size or even its precise shape. Aviation enthusiasts speculated that the object was associated with the Star Shadow project. Undertaken by the Chengdu-based Star UAV System Company, the Star Shadow drone was first revealed to the world in model form at an air show in 2018. According to the available information on the project, the unmanned vehicle measures 23 feet long and has a wingspan of just under 50 feet. It can supposedly fly at altitudes of up to 50,000 feet and is capable of operating for 12 hours straight. The Star Shadows and other drones that are in development have more sophisticated designs than previous pilotless Chinese drones, which are mostly non-stealthy in nature. Officials announced a projected flight date of 2019, but it's unclear whether it happened. The footage that appeared on social media seems to be the only possible photographic evidence of the Star Shadow possibly being operational. It was also suggested that the drone in the video clip could be a Kaihong 7. Developed by the state-owned China Aerospace Science and Technology Corporation, the project was revealed in 2018 in the form of a full-scale model. Speculators also raised the possibility of the drone being a smaller model like the CS-550T. For now, the vehicle in question remains unidentified. Number 6. ATACMS. Since the beginning of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, Ukraine has been asking the United States for the Army Tactical Missile System, or ATACMS. This is an American-developed, long-range, surface-to-surface missile system that's known for its accuracy and its ability to carry different types of warheads. U.S. President Joe Biden initially rejected the request, citing fears of escalation, but he and other officials began to change their tune during the summer of 2023, as Ukrainian forces pushed against the remaining Russian strongholds in the country as part of a prolonged counteroffensive. Sending the ATACMS would potentially be a great way to bolster the effort, which will require sustained assistance from other countries if Ukraine stands a chance at winning the war against Russia. As of September 2023, Biden has clarified that a final decision on whether or not to send ATACMS to Ukraine will come soon. One official even confirmed to CNN, off the record, that the approval has pretty much already been given. Number 5. HIMARS. From the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine war, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky appealed to other countries for longer-range weapons than his military had at the time, emphasizing how the country was outgunned by Putin's forces. The United States responded to Zelensky's call in June of 2022 by sending a high-mobility artillery rocket system, or HIMARS for short. And since then, the U.S. has given Ukraine at least 20 HIMARS systems, manufactured by Lockheed Martin. The HIMARS is a long-range wheeled rocket launcher that was first developed for the U.S. Army during the 1990s. This all-weather system carries a single launch pod that's capable of firing a 6-pack of satellite-guided rockets or one ATACMS missile. Mounted on a 5-ton truck, the HIMARS is capable of firing rockets with a 50-mile range. And to put that into perspective, that's farther than any of the weapons that were previously available to Ukrainian forces, enabling troops to launch both close and long-range precision strikes. The HIMARS has been a powerful asset to the Ukrainian war effort. At first, the system was primarily used for targeting Russian supply lines and ammunition dumps. But in July, the Ukrainian military attacked the Antonivsky Bridge in the city of Kherson, effectively cutting thousands of Russian troops off from their only supply line. Then, in late 2022, Ukrainian commanders began targeting an increasing number of barracks and other places containing concentrations of troops, including a hotel that was housing members of the infamous pro-Russian paramilitary force known as the Wagner Group. Then on New Year's Day, dozens of Russian service members were killed in an attack carried out by a HIMARS system. The Russian Defense Ministry said that 63 service members died, while Ukrainian officials estimated that the casualties were in the hundreds. In July of 2023, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry announced that the military had destroyed a battery of Russian self-propelled howitzers in one fell swoop using the HIMARS. Drone footage showed troops scattering after multiple explosions went off that sent large plumes of smoke into the air. The HIMARS has provided a considerable boost to Ukraine's gun power, but it's been more successful in some regions than others, and its initial momentum eventually slowed. Its effectiveness has been further challenged by Russia's use of electronic jammers to thwart GPS-guided rockets, but the HIMARS has proven to be an important fixture in Ukraine's war effort, and experts have predicted that this and other long-range weapons will remain essential in the fight to recapture Russian-held territory. Number 4. Mikhail Gorbachev. Mikhail Gorbachev became the Soviet Union's 8th and final leader in 1985. He was praised by Western leaders for helping to end the Cold War through his efforts to reform and modernize the USSR. In reality, though, Gorbachev was committed to preserving the Soviet state, but he believed that significant changes were necessary for its survival. So he encouraged private businesses by reducing state control over various economic sectors, promoted free speech, including the ability for civilians to criticize the government, and implemented a more democratic political system. And this included competitive elections and the introduction of multiple political parties beyond the ruling Communist Party. Gorbachev was most controversial for his open-mindedness toward nuclear disarmament and his willingness to negotiate peacefully with the West. At the time, both sides had a common goal in mind of ending the Cold War. However, his reform measures had the unintended effect of contributing to the Soviet Union's downfall, something he never wanted, and something that Vladimir Putin wishes never happened. Putin heavily blames Gorbachev for the Soviet Union's collapse, so much so in fact that when Gorbachev died in 2022, he offered little more than a brief, emotionless announcement. He extended his condolences to Gorbachev's family but didn't personally attend the former leader's funeral. In polite terms, Putin believes Gorbachev was guided by the naive vision of a new romantic period between the USSR and the West. It could perhaps be said that his anger over the fall of the Iron Curtain fueled his dogged pursuit to become Russia's leader. Some experts believe that Putin's resentment over the Soviet Union's collapse has driven him to try undoing Gorbachev's legacy. It was definitely a factor in his decision to invade Ukraine, and it's unclear if or when he'll ever give up on his apparent goal of restoring the Soviet state. Number 3. China's growing power. Putin's 15-year career with the KGB began in 1975. And during that time, the Soviet Union was one of the world's largest economies, second only to the United States. The USSR essentially controlled the entirety of Eastern Europe, including Poland, Ukraine, and East Germany. At the time, China was embarking on a new era of financial growth with the introduction of reforms aimed at modernizing the country and expanding its economy. Its goal was to maintain many of its socialist values while becoming an industrial nation. China was also a lot poorer back then, and it relied heavily on Soviet technology for the construction of its factories. But a lot has changed since then. China has since elevated to the status of a global superpower and is currently the world's second largest economy. Meanwhile, Russia now relies on Chinese technology, and its economy is a mere fraction of China's. It's as if the two countries have traded places. Today, China's global influence only continues to grow, while Russia is struggling in its attempt to take over Ukraine. Russia and China have good relations on the surface, but some experts have speculated that there are fears among Russians of Chinese encroachment on the country's territory and the influence on its culture. It's unclear how these factors will affect Russia's approach toward relations with China in the future, but it's logical to predict that at some point, the country's close relationship could cool off. Some experts believe that Russia might adopt a policy of avoiding entanglement in alliances with other countries, while others think Moscow will seek closer relationships with other powerful countries to bolster its own strength. However, it hasn't happened yet, and all anyone can do for now is speculate about the future. Number 2. NATO. Vladimir Putin has repeatedly blamed the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, better known as NATO, for the ongoing violence in Ukraine. And surprisingly, not everyone disagrees. Many journalists and experts, including those in the West, have pointed at NATO expansion for essentially pushing Putin off the deep end and triggering him to invade Ukraine. These allegations have also been used to explain other actions taken by Moscow, including Russia's invasion of Georgia in 2008 and a previous invasion of Ukraine in 2014. But this narrative is flawed. According to international relations expert Robert Persson and former U.S. ambassador to Russia Mikhail, they argued in the Journal of Democracy that NATO's expansion hasn't happened in the form of a constant encroachment on Russia's borders like Putin wants people to think. The pair claim that Moscow's complaints about NATO typically come after instances of democratic expansion in Eurasia, which doesn't necessarily have anything to do with NATO. More specifically, Putin's fear of Ukraine joining NATO is thought to be a motivating factor for the ongoing war, since the alliance will not admit a country that's partially occupied by Russia. In this hour-long speech announcing the invasion, which he referred to as a special military operation, Putin accused the United States and NATO of pursuing global dominance. He made it sound like Russia had no choice but to intervene in what he described as the West's attempt to impose its anti-Russian views and agenda on Ukraine. In reality, Ukraine wants to be a democracy and wants to join NATO. Persson and Mikhail have argued that even in the absence of a NATO expansion, Putin would continue trying to undermine democracy in Ukraine and elsewhere throughout the region. In the past, he's had mixed reactions to Eastern European countries joining NATO. And in some cases, he seemed completely unbothered by the idea. But when NATO announced plans to possibly admit the former Soviet republics of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania as new members in 2002, Putin said that Russia was in no position to tell others what to do. He also said that they couldn't forbid other countries from making certain choices in the name of national security. And yet, he sung a completely different tune whenever a post-communist country has made a major democratic breakthrough in recent years. For example, when the Rose Revolution ended Soviet-era leadership in Georgia in 2003, Putin took measures to interfere with the country's democracy and ultimately blamed NATO for his decision to invade in 2008. Today, Russia's continued occupation of Georgia's Abkhazia and South Ossetia territories ensures that the country won't be admitted into NATO. Furthermore, relations between NATO and Ukraine have changed very little since the beginning of the current war. Even before the invasion, NATO made it clear that Ukraine didn't qualify to join, although the alliance remained committed to keeping its door open to the possibility. Looking at it from this angle, it's hard to deny that Putin is motivated solely by a desire to stop NATO from sinking its claws into Russia's neighbor. Number 1. Internal dissent. Since the beginning of the war in Ukraine, Russian citizens who oppose the conflict have been unusually outspoken about their views. Thousands of civilians have voiced their opinions and participated in demonstrations at the risk of being jailed and otherwise punished. It's no secret that free speech isn't on Vladimir Putin's list of favorite things, and the heavy-handed response to those who dare speak out against him isn't the least bit surprising. But there are limits to his ability to silence those who dare to disagree with him, especially when it's done in large numbers or from a position of power. Putin learned this lesson the hard way in June of 2023, when a man he once considered a close confidant staged a rebellion in Moscow Oblast. The revolt was led by Russian oligarch Yevgeny Prigozhin, who owned several businesses that directly served the Kremlin. In addition to his close friendship with Putin, Prigozhin was tightly connected to Russia's defense ministry and its military intelligence agency, the GRU. He also founded the Wagner Group, a state-funded private military company that supported pro-Russian militaries in Ukraine since 2014. The Wagner Group played a significant role in the 2022 Ukraine invasion and the violence that followed. Throughout that year alone, the force grew from roughly 1,000 members to somewhere between 20,000 and 50,000 members, and it was still under Prigozhin's leadership when he began openly criticizing the Russian military's handling of the war. Prigozhin became increasingly brazen in his complaints over the following months. He expressed anger and frustration with Russian forces for failing to provide the Wagner Group with ammunition and blamed the military for the deaths of several of his men, which he believed would have been prevented if they had been better supplied. His anger eventually turned directly toward Russian officials and their families for their alleged shortcomings in the war effort. Throughout 2023, Prigozhin began rebranding himself as an advocate for the populace rather than an ally to the elite. And in late June, he refused to sign paperwork that would integrate the Wagner Group into the Russian military and remove him from the leadership. He also declared war on Russia's Ministry of Defense. During the short-lived rebellion, which lasted for just 36 hours, the Wagner Group captured the Russian city of Rostov-on-Don and began advancing toward Moscow. The mutiny was quickly squashed, and by then, the friendship between Prigozhin and Putin was over. Prigozhin agreed to move to Belarus in exchange for criminal charges against him being dropped, but he died in a suspicious plane crash in late August, while en route from Moscow to St. Petersburg. The Wagner rebellion revealed cracks in Putin's control, which many people already knew existed. But Putin and his top officials go so far out of their way to conceal any shortcomings in his power that they're often not visible on the surface. Many noticed that Putin seemed worried while delivering a speech about the rebellion. And in the words of Politico journalist Daniel Fried, he seemed to be preparing the country for civil war more than assuring his fellow citizens that this was just a mutiny by a ragtag bunch of mercenaries. The fact that members of the Wagner Group managed to capture an entire city with ease, and their ability to come within 124 miles of Moscow before being stopped, undermines Putin's image as all-powerful. And now that it's happened once, there's no reason to think it couldn't happen again. But more than anything, the rebellion reset the image of Putin as a mere mortal rather than an infallible force of power. For many, this is a reassuring realization, but for Putin, it's likely terrifying. For now, he continues to stubbornly cling to the narrative that he has things under control and that he has the unwavering support of the Russian people. Do you think that Putin is scared that another Wagner Group rebellion or one like it could be on the horizon? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.